Today, we are diving into a story that is absolutely grabbing the world's attention. I'm talking about the incredible, fast-paced rise of India's economy. The numbers are huge, the predictions are bold, and believe me, everyone is watching. So what's really behind this economic countdown? So here's the big question, the one everyone's asking. Could India really jump past major economies like Japan and Germany to become the world's third largest in just a couple of years? I mean, it sounds incredibly ambitious, but it seems like the clock has already started ticking. And look, this isn't just some wild guess or media hype. This is a direct claim from India's finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. She's setting a very clear, very confident goal. So let's dig into the evidence behind a statement that powerful. All right, so to do that, we're going to unpack this massive headline. We'll look at the engine that's driving all this growth. We'll pinpoint the sectors that are really leading the charge. And then we're going to get real about the potential roadblocks that could get in the way. It all kicks off with this one number, 6.7%. That's the forecast for growth this fiscal year. Now, just to put that into perspective for you, that rate is blowing past what most of the major developed economies are doing right now. So what on earth is fueling this kind of momentum? Well, to really get it, you have to look at the fundamental pillars holding this whole thing up. It's not just one thing. It's a really powerful mix of forces that are creating this unique, supercharged economic climate. First up, and honestly, this one is huge, is this. Over 65% of India's population is under 35 years old. That's not just a statistic, that is a massive demographic dividend. We're talking about a young, energetic workforce that's fueling both production and consumption on a scale that's just, well, it's incredible. Okay, now this is where it gets really cool, because these strengths all feed into each other. You take that massive young population, and then you supercharge it with a digital revolution like the UPI payment system. Then you add a huge strategic push in manufacturing, a services sector that's already world-class, and government policies that are helping business, and boom, you get this powerful, interconnected formula for growth that is really unique to India right now. All right, so we've got the why, but what about the what? I mean, which specific parts of the economy are actually putting the pedal to the metal and driving this thing forward? And what's so impressive is how spread out this growth is. Of course, you've got the traditional powerhouse, IT and software, which is still a global leader. But now you're also seeing this new energy in manufacturing, an absolute explosion in fintech, and serious money going into future-focused areas like renewable energy. It's this wide base that gives it stability. But sometimes the best stories are hidden in the little details. Because tucked away behind these giants of tech and manufacturing, there's this really fascinating little story that just shows how deep this competitiveness goes. It's a sector you might not think of right away when you think of India's modern growth story. Get this. Coffee exports. They have shot up by an amazing 40%, hitting $1.8 billion. It's just a perfect little example of how Indian industries, even the more traditional ones, are getting incredibly competitive and winning on the world stage. Okay, so with solid foundations and booming sectors, let's zoom out a bit and look at the ripple effect. What does this kind of growth actually mean for investors, for global trade, and, well, for the entire world economy? Wow, yeah. This chart really tells the story, doesn't it? Well, most developed countries are growing at maybe 2.5%. India is just charging ahead at nearly 3 times that speed. It's not just growing, it's becoming a key engine for global economic expansion, right when the world really needs one. And hey, don't just take the government's word for it. This isn't just an internal forecast. It's backed up by international experts. A Reuters poll of economists confirms that 6.7% number, which adds a whole other layer of credibility to the outlook. And you gotta remember, 6.7% isn't just some abstract number on a report. It translates into real-world stuff. More jobs, bigger profits for companies, which then attracts more foreign investment, more money in people's pockets to actually go out and spend, and India cementing itself as an even more critical piece of the global supply chain puzzle. But let's be real here. A journey this big is never a straight line, right? To get the full picture, we have to talk about the potential hurdles that could slow down this incredible momentum. I mean, you've got some serious risks from the outside, like global economic weirdness and trade tensions that could mess with exports. And then internally, the challenges are just as big. The country's infrastructure is racing to keep up with this growth. There's a huge need to retrain the workforce for the jobs of tomorrow, not yesterday. And all of this has to happen while dealing with complicated regulations and very real environmental issues. These aren't small problems, they are major tests. So this slide really boils it all down perfectly. On one side, you have these unbelievably powerful forces, the demographics, the digital push, the diverse economy, all pushing things forward. And on the other side, you have these very real, very serious challenges that have to be managed if this growth is going to last. And that brings us right back to where we started. But now the question is much, much clearer. The potential is undeniable. The demographic tailwinds are there, and the ambition has been stated loud and clear. The ultimate question really comes down to execution. Can India navigate all the hurdles ahead to turn this incredible potential into a reality? That, my friends, is the multi-trillion-dollar question.